Okay, we're going to call the meeting to order of the Suffolk Town Granville Regional School Committee at 6:06 p.m. Just a reminder, if you would like to make a public comment this evening, please do so by sending an email to the superintendent at STGRSD.org email account. Please make sure you include your name and address as part of the record included in the email. Okay. In your packet, you should have a secretary's report dated May 4th, 2021. I'll entertain a motion to accept those meeting minutes.
So moved.
I second.
Okay, anybody have any questions, comments, or changes they would like to make to the secretary's report? All right, hearing none, we're going to do a roll call vote. Pam?
Yes.
Chelsea?
Yes.
Ted? Ted?
What I do?
You muted yourself. You got to unmute yourself.
I am muted.
There
Yes.
Yes, sir. Thank you. John?
Yes.
Maria?
Yes.
Brian?
Yes.
And Jeff is a yes. Okay, moving on to warrants. Earlier this evening, Amy sent an email out with 4 warrants that need to be signed. Please make sure that you take the time, get those signed, and return to Amy as soon as you can. Correspondence?
Thank you, Chairman Houle. This is Superintendent Jen Willard. On May 10th, we received an email from the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education. This is part of their yearly letter where they look at the special education determination under Part B of the Individuals with Disabilities Act. They look at a few criteria. They look at our 5-year cohort graduation rates for students with disabilities. They look at our annual dropout rate for students with disabilities, the public school monitoring special education compliance data. They look at the problem resolution system special education complaint data. They look at the performance on special education state performance plan and annual performance report indicators and data and findings of significant disproportionality. The school district gets one of a few ratings. You can either get a meets requirement, a needs assistant, needs intervention, and needs substantial intervention. I'm happy to report that Southwick, Towel, and Granville got meets requirements. So I'm pleased to present that to the school committee.
Thank you. All right, it's time for our first public comment. Amy, if you would be so kind and check the superintendent account.
Chairman Houle, I checked the account and there are no public comments.
All right, thank you. Moving on to our student advisory report.
So today, over the past last week at high school, Southwick students took MCAS and it went well. This week, middle school students are taking MCAS, and AP exams start tomorrow and go until early June. The spring award ceremony on May 6th went well, and new National Honor Society members were successfully inducted, along with many scholarships and awards that went out to students. Unified Track has their first meet tomorrow. It will be at home and at 4. And SRS students are helping out at the annual town meeting tomorrow for community service hours. And that is it.
Thank you. All right, moving on to the educational presentation. This evening, I have the pleasure of reporting out on the superintendent evaluation results. I'm not going to read this word for word, but overall, the committee was rather pleased with the superintendent's support this year and leadership. She scored 3 exemplary and 4 proficient on her overall score. I will encourage the committee members to please take the time and go through the data file that was included in your packet, which shows the ratio of all the other questions of how folks answered or rated Superintendent Willard. I also tried to pick out some of the compliments or criticisms in somewhat of an equal fashion. Not a lot of comments this year, but I think in the beginning we can all agree that communicating with the public was a bit of an issue in regards to COVID. I think everybody was in a learning mode from the very beginning. I think Jen took the feedback well, adjusted, and we, as the district, improved communication overall and getting information out to the parents, students, faculty, etc. And I think overall, the other flavor of the comments that came in were that we need to be focusing the district on learning loss and recovery. And that will be the major focus of the 2021 or the 21-22 school year. Anybody have any questions? This is included in your packet for your official review, but like I said, I recommend that folks take a look at all the data that's included in the packet.
I just want to say thank you, Jeff, for putting this all together for us. I know it is a lot to take a look at, but I appreciate you kind of putting it together and teasing out some of the things that you feel are important.
I think it's more things that the committee feels important. This could have been a pretty lengthy document if I took everything out of it, but I tried to pick on some of the things that we all felt were commonly a thread. So I think Jen has really opened up communication and has done I'm a little tongue-tied at the moment, but she's done a really good job listening. And she's taking the time to listen to the parents, listening to the committee, adjusting and moving forward. I said something to her early before the beginning of the school year. I said, personally, Jen, this is the type of situation that can make and break people as leaders, that we need to be diligent, open-minded, and listen to everything that's going on around us. Completely unprecedented, and everybody is on from their norm on different high alert, and you need to be really in tune to what's going on around, not only in the four walls of the schools, but in the communities as well. I think she's done a really good job trying to adjust to everything that went on throughout this year. I don't know if anybody else has anything else they'd like to add.
I'd just like to say that I've been tremendously impressed with how Jen and other district administrators have handled this pandemic. I mean, it's been a challenge for all of us. We all make mistakes, and it was inevitable that we would make some bad decisions and some good decisions. But the vision and, as Jeff said, the willingness to listen and to adapt and to make changes when necessary has really impressed me. You know, I completely agree with what Jeff says. You know, the situations like this can make us or break us. And I've been very, very.
I think we lost Pam.
This is John. I'll just do while Pam tries to get back. I just want to say that, yeah, I respect Jen's commitment to the school district this past year. Like everybody else has said, I don't think that we could have ever anticipated anything quite like what has gone on. And you know, although we've had, you know, there's been different disagreements over different things during the past year, I appreciate her leadership and believing in what she was doing as the right thing and her conviction to what she was doing. I think that you make a choice and you kind of have to navigate it as it goes. And, we've done, I think overall, there's been a pretty good job of that.
Pam, you cut out earlier. Did you finish what you were trying to say?
I'm not exactly sure where it was that I cut out. But I've just been very, very impressed with how Jen and the administrative team has led us through this pandemic. As she's mentioned before, there really are no right answers. But I've been very, very impressed with the commitment to doing what she believes is the right thing and listening and pivoting when necessary.
Okay. Moving on to our next agenda item. Next is policies. Tonight we have our first reading of IMG, which is Animals in Schools. Sub-policy committee would like to kind of introduce this.
Chelsea, you want to take the lead, or do you want me to take the lead on this one?
I was gonna let you, if you
Okay.
want.
So animals in schools, we're just revising the policies that we have in the book. This one, a student brought it to the attention to the principals, and it went from there. So it has been revised, it has been studied, and sent to our lawyers for review as well.
Some areas that were updated are, I believe, down low, right? Keep go. In the definition of service animals, I believe, right, Maria?
So there was some revisions there. Some were revised by the lawyers, and some of them was taken out and some of it was left. But definitely, it kind of gives you more of defined guidelines of what service animals are, and what cannot come to school, like bats, that type of thing.
Anybody have any questions, concerns, thoughts?
I think I missed the lawyer attorney version changes. I think we are looking into focusing or updating some of the definitions to include mental health.
Yeah, that was kind of removed from
Oh,
the original definition. So yeah, the lawyers took a look and took some stuff out, left some stuff in.
okay.
Okay. No more questions. We're going to move on to our next session. All right, action items.
Thank you, Chairman Houle. The first one is move to approve the final evaluation of the superintendent for the 2021 school year recommended.
So moved.
I second.
Okay, any last questions, thoughts, changes? Okay, we'll do a roll call vote on this. Pam,
Yes.
Chelsea,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Maria,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
and Jeff is a yes. Motion passes 7-0-0.
Be it resolved that the Southwick Tolling Granville Regional School Committee hereby extends its congratulations to Chelsea Berry. In recognition of 3 years of excellence as a school committee member, we hereby convey our sincere appreciation for your valuable efforts, dedicated service, and assistance rendered, which has enhanced the image of the Southwick Tolling Granville Regional Schools and a record of these resolutions shall be permanently entered into the minutes of this school district. Highly recommended.
Sadly, so moved.
Second.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote here. Pam,
Yes.
Chelsea,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Maria,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
and Jeff is a yes. Motion passes 700.
And I'd just like to publicly thank Chelsea for her commitment to the school committee, and to thank her for asking good questions and keeping us on our toes and kind of probing us all to think outside the box at times. I really appreciate your fresh opinions, your education, and your mindset. And we'll miss you dearly. So thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to our next action item.
Move to approve the Project 351 fundraiser ice cream truck at baseball game to benefit Cradles to Crayons. Recommended.
So moved.
I second.
Any questions on this fundraiser?
I really love this organization, Cradles to Crayons. It's really exciting.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Pam,
Yes.
Chelsea,
Yes.
Ted,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Maria,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
and Jeff is a yes. Motion passes 700.
So, Chairman Poole, will you give me a minute to just quickly discuss rescinding this policy? A little brief overview of why this was added to the agenda?
Sure.
Okay. Just to let people in the community know that early this morning around noontime, Governor Baker announced new guidelines that school districts and the communities need to start following. So he announced on May 17th that effective May 18th, which is tomorrow, that masks are no longer required outside for recess for students, and for adults, unless if they are 6 feet apart, adults still need to wear them. He also mentioned that students are going to be able to share objects in classrooms now in K through 12 settings. He talked about some different cleaning guidance. But the most important thing is that when the governor makes a decision like this, we simply can't just say, okay, because we have policy, school committee policy that was voted on, that is a mask policy, which had specific information in it that we all need to follow. So we were very fortunate that we do have a school committee meeting tonight. Other school districts around are going into emergency school committees meetings because we need to rescind our mask policy in order to be compliant with the governor's proposal. So we were fortunate that we did have this meeting today. I could not bring this to the policy subcommittee. There just simply wasn't enough time. But after looking at what our current policy has and the practices that we're currently practicing in our school, we are following all of the Department of Elementary and Secondary guidance. The main reason for this face coverings policy at the beginning of the year was because we did add grades K and 1 as mandatory mask grades. They are now part of the mandatory mask grades per DESE. So we will be rescinding our face coverings policy today. So this will no longer be in effect. However, wearing a mask is still required in all K through 2 schools. The only place that students do not have to wear masks is now outside at recess.
You meant K through 12, correct?
K through 12, yes.
So Jen, are we rescinding the whole policy or just the part about recess?
We are rescinding the whole policy because we really don't need the policy anymore because we are following the Department of Elementary and Secondary's guidance. We are following the CDC guidance and the DPH. The only thing on here that we were going to have to rescind was a face covering on school grounds. They all still need to wear it per DESI in school buildings and on school transportation. That has not changed. So we really don't need a policy anymore because we are actually implementing it as practice in our school district. And it's DESI guidance, so we have to follow it. This is what the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education posted on their website today. We will have it posted on our website. We are sending home a letter to families letting them know how this new guidance affects our students in our district. So in STGRSD, if the school committee rescinds this policy, it means that the district will still follow DESI guidance. It means we will continue COVID-19 safety protocols, including mask wearing, for all individuals when they are indoors, regardless of vaccination status. Masks will continue to be required on all district transportation. When students are in an outdoor setting like recess and outdoor classrooms, masks will not be required, even if that 3 to 6 feet of distance cannot be maintained. Second question is going to be, but what about athletics? Because he talks about youth sports. Our athletics are governed by the Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, and we are going to be waiting for the MIAA to rescind their mask policy. And when they do, STGRSD will then rescind the mask. We will follow suit with the MIAA. And as soon as that comes out by the MIAA, we will immediately notify families. We're anticipating that to happen within the next few days.
All right, so why don't we read the action item and then we'll jump into questions.
Okay. Move to rescind policy EBCFA face coverings recommended.
Jen, can you hear me?
Oh,
Yes, I can hear people.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think my connection is going in and out. My question was, how is this information going to be communicated to teachers about the cleaning, how frequently we need to clean our desks and shared materials and that sort of thing?
So I did send this to all building principals today as a must read and a must share. I sent it to the union president today. She is aware of it. And we are going to be sending a letter home after school committee night to all families and staff members, with the links at the bottom, the live links, so that they can go to the Governor Baker's full press release and to the DESI FAQ for more information.
Right, so a little house cleaning. I think, Chelsea, you moved the motion.
yes, so moved.
Okay, I need a second on this, please.
Second.
Okay. Okay, what other questions do we have for Superintendent Willard if we rescind this policy?
This doesn't change like the cohorts that they're in. We're still keeping everyone, kind of segregated.
Yes. This is just when the kids are out at recess. It's kind of like a mask break without space now. And if you, like we said, we're putting the entire press release, if they'd like to read it, but it's per the updated guidance from the CDC and following the new science of COVID.
Okay, any other questions before we take a vote? Hearing none, we're going to do a roll call vote. Pam?
Yes.
Chelsea?
Yes.
Ted?
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Maria,
Yes.
Ryan,
Yes.
and Jeff is a yes. Motion passes 7-0-0. Okay, moving on to reports. Up first is Superintendent Willard.
I'm going to be super quick tonight. I just want to let everybody know that last Monday, Director of Finance and Operations, Mr. Presnall, went to the Tolland Town Meeting, and they unanimously approved both our capital and operational budget. And I was able to attend the Granville Annual Town Meeting, and they too unanimously approved both our operational and capital budgets for this upcoming school year. So we'd like to thank both the towns of Tolland and Granville. Wonderful questions were asked, dedicated towns members were there, and it was really nice to see people again. So thank you very much.
Moving on to the Director of Finance and Operations, Mr. Presnell.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be very brief as well. I just wanted to share with the committee that the Senate Ways and Means released its version of the FY22 state budget. It shared this information out with the Finance Subcommittee last week. And they've adjusted some of the revenue and charge numbers for the versus the House Ways and Means version. The net effect is a decrease of $34,000 roughly to funds that would come to the district. So not a material amount, still significantly more than what Governor Baker's budget proposal was, and that those numbers are essentially what our budget was based on. The Senate Ways and Means version restores the use of ESSER 2 funds toward mitigating the minimum local contribution increases in our district. And I'm probably sounds like I'm beating a dead horse here, but Southwick was the only town affected by that. And our budget was based on mitigation of all of the increase to their required local contribution. We had a little concern because the House Ways and Means version did not incorporate those mitigation funds. Senate Ways and Means version put it back. It remains to be seen what the conference committee between House and Senate will come up with. We'll keep you posted on that. That's all I have.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to subcommittees and liaisons. Anything for negotiations?
I do believe we have something scheduled soon.
Yeah. Is the negotiations subcommittee opposed to a Zoom meeting for the upcoming paraprofessional and custodial negotiations?
It's fine by me. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Okay.
All right, Finance Subcommittee, we had to reschedule. Amy, what is the new date on that now?
Wednesday, the 26th.
6, yeah.
Pam, do you have an update from LPVEC?
No, I do not. We've not met since our last meeting.
Nor has the other board. All right, Policy Subcommittee?
Might need a new member.
Yeah, we met last week. We just have to now reschedule, schedule a meeting. But right now, I don't think we have anything on the plate.
Buildings and Grounds. Mr. Presnell did reach out to me with a few dates, and I just have not, unfortunately, been able to make anything work. But I will make sure that I get something scheduled before the next committee meeting. Any other subcommittee or liaisons that would like to report out, please do so at this time.
I'll just reiterate about athletics and what Jen said about the, the MIAAs are guiding principle on mask wearing. So as soon as they change something, I'm sure we can move swiftly to remove that.
All right, hearing no other subcommittees, we're going to move on to our second public comment. Amy, if you would do so kindly, check the superintendent's email account.
Check the account and there are no public comments.
Okay. All right, up first, we have old business.
Yeah, I'll speak on something. So Jen and I had a back and forth today over some stuff we've been seeing regarding school choice, and how we recently, voted to stop that, as we don't know what the incoming classes look like, and that's likely to change over time, and then it's likely that there could be some potential openings for school choice. But I just wanted to give Jen the opportunity to reiterate how that process works and the ongoing process of how it can change.
Sure. Thank you, John. So in the last meeting, just for anybody who's not aware, so what we do is we look at our projected numbers for next year. This year is a unique year, as we know that a lot of people did not enroll their students in kindergarten. We've been instructed by the commissioner that if they did not enroll in kindergarten, he would like us to place the students in first grade. So right now we currently have 5 teachers scheduled in kindergarten and 5 teachers scheduled in first grade. However, we do have one floating teacher in there that is an ESER being paid for out of the ESER 2 grant in order to be like a bubble teacher in case we have an influx of students coming in at any one grade. We don't know what the numbers are yet. The numbers are, probably won't know until the end of the school year, early summer. But once we do know, we hopefully will be able to open up some school choice seats. But what we cannot do is open up school choice seats to the point where we would need to hire a new teacher for school choice. And our priority is always to making sure that our class sizes stay small and that we're fiscally responsible to the taxpayers in the community. So I understand we usually have answers for parents now. I understand that this is super frustrating, but we are doing our best. We are looking at class enrollments. We are looking to see where we can potentially open up school choice seats. But as of today, I can't give anybody any definite numbers about where we are because we still don't know. We reached out to a lot of our families who chose homeschooling this year. If masks are still part of what students have to wear when they return to school, we have a large section of our families who chose homeschooling that will not be sending their kids back to school. However, if masks are no longer a requirement, then we have families who will be choosing to send their kids back to school. So we're really in quite the predicament where we're doing everything we can. We're preparing for a greater number of kids to return, but opening up school choice slot seats right now would be fiscally irresponsible on my part until I have the actual numbers of enrollment for next year.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Jen, did we recently have a kindergarten screening, and does that give us any more information as to how many incoming kindergartners we can expect?
It means that we registered students, but over the summer, we typically get a handful of families who register late. It's just, we go by past practice. And so I am going to be meeting with Kim tomorrow. We have an admin meeting, and I will be asking for an update on kindergarten registration. So I apologize for not having that information for you today, but I plan on talking with Kim about it tomorrow in our admin meeting.
I get that this is an ugly situation and that there are a lot of moving pieces and that we don't have any definite answers. For the small number of people that might be affected by this, do you have an idea as to when they could expect to know whether there's room for the
I would hope by the end of the school year, by our last school committee meeting in June.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm. But again, I think a big piece of it is going to be when we get the guidance from the state on mask wearing in schools for next year. I really, truly believe that's going to play a significant role in whether a lot of our students return to school. I really do. And I can't, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you can go.
Are we expecting to hear that guidance by the end of the school year, or is that just completely up in the air?
Completely up in the air.
Okay.
If you had told me yesterday that kids wouldn't be wearing masks at recess tomorrow, I would have said, nah, that's not going to happen. So I don't even begin to guess when I'm going to be getting information, because the public gets the information before the superintendents get the information.
Okay, any other old business this evening? Any new business this evening?
I guess I just wanted to pipe in and take the opportunity. I probably should have did it like 5 minutes ago, but to thank the community and the district for the opportunity to serve and grow. And it's just been a really great experience over the, well, maybe not the past year, but overall a great experience over the past 3 years. And hopefully I'll be of service to this committee again someday in the future. But thank you.
Thank you, Chelsea. Just a reminder to the Southwick folks, if you are interested to participate in tomorrow's town meeting, we can support the superintendent as we get through the vote on the school budget. It will be outside at the high school on the east side of the building, socially distanced. I don't know about masks.
Jeff, do you know what time it starts for those who are listening? Is it 6?
7.
7.
The actual. Yeah.
I thought it was 6 o'clock.
I'm sure it's on the town website.
Yeah, it is. There's a special town meeting before the regular town meeting.
Yes.
All right, if there is nothing else for this evening, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
I second.
Okay, we'll do a roll call vote. Pam?
Yes.
Chelsea?
Yes.
Ted?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Maria?
Yes.
Ryan?
Yes.
And Jeff is a yes. Have a good evening, everybody.